Have you ever prayed for something that was important to you, but eventually started wondering if God was ever going to answer? Maybe you prayed for healing for yourself or for somebody else, or for a relationship to be restored, or for direction in your life. Whatever it is, you prayed. And at first, you prayed with confidence. But as time passed and nothing seemed to change, your confidence started to fade. And now, when you pray, doubt niggles at the back of your mind. What if God doesn't answer? Well, if you've ever wrestled with that question, if you're wrestling with it now, let's explore how you can use that doubt to your advantage. Welcome to the Confident Christian Woman podcast, where we tackle questions about things that have been keeping you stuck in unfulfillment, dissatisfaction, or straight up misery. This is where you'll find the help you need to move forward from confusion, fear, or self-doubt into joy, fulfillment, and peace. This is where we become confident Christian women who not only believe, we obey. Now, let's dive in. We are in the middle of a series of episodes where we're addressing super short messages that people have sent me. Some of these messages are so short and so lacking in detail that we could really go in many different directions with them, but I don't want to sit on them and leave them unaddressed. So we're dealing with them one by one and in each episode in this series, and for each of them, I'm going in a direction that I believe will help those in this community the most. So today we are digging into a reply that I got from someone when I asked what brought her to the Confident Christian Woman community in the first place. She responded, "Not sure that God will answer my prayer." So our question for today is, why and how should I keep praying when I'm not sure that God will answer my prayer? Let's jump right into the deep end with a question that I have for you, which is, when you pray, what is it that you're expecting prayer to do? Are you expecting prayer to guarantee a specific outcome? Or are you approaching prayer as part of your relationship with God? Because sometimes our early understanding and our early exposure to prayer, our early understanding of prayer and our early exposure to prayer is a little immature, and we don't allow that understanding to mature and that early exposure to fall away. So we treat prayer like a transaction. If I pray the right way, if I have enough faith, if I ask persistently enough, then God should give me what I ask for. I used to think that way. I used to believe those things. I didn't realize I was operating that way, but I was. But the truth is that relationships don't work like transactions, and neither does prayer. Prayer is not a formula for controlling outcomes. It's a way of relating with God. So when a prayer doesn't get answered the way that you hope, including seeming not to be answered at all, and you find yourself getting angry with God or disillusioned about Him, then something important is being revealed to you in that moment, which is your expectations about how you believe God should operate. So I'm going to ask you a few questions now to get to the root of this issue. Please pause me at any time so that you can actually ponder each question and answer it truthfully. Because if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you should know by now, only the truth will set you free. So please answer honestly. Okay? Here are the questions. And it's 3 of them. 1, what specific prayer made you start doubting? 2, what outcome were you hoping that God would give you for that prayer? And 3, what did that outcome mean to you? Hey, can I ask for a quick favor? If you've been finding value in the show, would you take a quick minute to rate and review it? Your rating and review help more women find the podcast and start getting unstuck. Thanks for being a rock star. Now, let's get back to today's episode. Exploring those 3 questions honestly can help you to realize what meaning you're attaching to the answer you are expecting from God. So, for example, if God answered yes, then it meant that He cared. If He answered no, then it felt like rejection. If He seemed silent, then it felt like abandonment. Okay? Whatever your interpretation is that you attached to whatever answer you are expecting from God. But are those interpretations true? Are they true? Or were they born out of your experience with human beings? I know that was my experience when I started interrogating my own doubts about why God didn't seem to be answering my prayers. Like I had to interrogate my doubts. And when I started doing that, I started to uncover all kind of beliefs I had about how God should operate in relation to my prayers that were formed because of how you human beings, my experience with human beings, right? So then the deeper questions that need to be addressed here that you need to answer for yourself are, will you continue praying even when the outcome isn't what you hoped for? Are you willing to start approaching prayer as a conversation and stop approaching it like a transaction? How willing are you to trust God's character even when you don't understand His decisions? Where do your answers to these questions that you have just answered, those 3 questions you've just answered, where do your answers to those questions indicate that you are on the scale of emotional and spiritual maturity? And if the answer isn't so great, that doesn't have to be a judgment on you. You can see it as an opportunity for you to grow into a real relationship with God instead of continuing to operate on the basis of transactions. God owes you something. So you stop only asking for things, which is not bad because God wants to supply all our needs, but you go beyond that and start relating and engaging with Him on a relational level, right? And that changes the entire dynamic of your prayer life and the entire dynamic of your relationship with God. So, if you have been struggling to pray because you're not sure if God will answer, then remember that prayer was never meant to be a transaction. It's meant to be an expressive part of a relationship. And relationships do not revolve entirely around outcomes. They revolve around connection. So your challenge today is to let go of the belief that your prayers are supposed to guarantee a specific result. And once you release that expectation, then prayer becomes less about trying to control your circumstances and more about knowing God. Prayer becomes a conversation, and you'll keep having those conversations no matter what His answers to your requests are. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like extra support, don't forget to grab your free Clarity Roadmap. It's a free guide that's designed to give you a quick jump start out of feeling stuck. Remember, you don't have to have all the answers. You only need your one next step. And this free roadmap is a great place to start. You'll find the link in the show notes.